Hello, I'm Annette Young and welcome to the 51%, a show about women reshaping our world. Coming up, the focus may be on the new leader of the Catholic Church, but what about the women who make up half of the church? Nuns are now calling for greater inclusion as well as much needed recognition of sexual abuse. Also, why do women live that much longer than men? And why do doctors and researchers consistently fail to understand the inequality between the sexes when it comes to the ageing process? I'll be talking shortly to Dr Saher Mehdi, a longevity scientist. And tackling stereotypes with the Women's Rugby World Cup around the corner, interest in the game is on the rise, especially among young women in the UK and also here in France. But first, as the world celebrated the election of a new pope, women who make up half of the 1.4 billion strong Catholic Church around the globe were largely absent from the ceremony. But with the election of the first American pontiff, Pope Leo, there's hope he will go further than his predecessor, who had at least boosted the female workforce in the Vatican. Nuns are now calling for more inclusion as well as recognition of the rising cases of sexual abuse within the Catholic Church, as Jennifer Ben-Brahim reports.
Tears of joy for these nuns in Vatican City as a new pope is elected. The first American pontiff, Pope Leo XIV. Earlier, pink smoke was seen rising over Rome, not to signal a new pope, but rather a call to action.
Smoke out sexism!
These members of a women's ordination conference, an organisation fighting for women to be ordained as deacons, priests and bishops, are denouncing the Catholic Church's all-male conclave.
We are saying to the cardinals, you cannot keep ignoring 50% of the Catholic population. You cannot go into a locked room and discuss the future of the church without half of the church.
Throughout his 12-year papacy, Francis made strides in boosting the number of women in the Vatican.
La Chiesa delle porte aperte a tutti, tutti, tutti.
In 2023, he gave women the right to vote during synods, the Vatican summits involving the world's bishops. Although Catholic women still aren't able to be ordained, they hope this could change under Pope Leo.
From the next Pope, I think I would like that carries on the maybe the key things that this late Pope has been impounding on, especially promoting women religious in some leadership positions like he has done. And that has given us hope for women in the church.
Inheriting another challenge, Pope Francis acknowledged that the Catholic Church still had a long way to go when it came to abuse. In 2019, he became the first pontiff to publicly admit that priests had sexually abused nuns.
The mistreatment of women is a problem. Women are treated as second-class citizens.
He was, however, slow in dealing with a case against Jesuit priest Marco Ivan Rupnik, accused by nuns of sexual and psychological violence against them in the 1990s. It was only under pressure that Francis lifted the statute of limitations in 2023 to open proceedings against him. Whether his successor, Pope Leo XIV, can bring more transparency remains to be seen, as is the future role for women in the Church.
Now, in a society which values youth, counteracting ageing has become a global obsession. Just think of the American entrepreneur Brian Johnson, whose attempts to extend his life has made headlines. This despite the reality that the world's population is growing older, with women outliving men by at least 5 years. Yet ageing is not a great leveller as we like to think it is. It too is marked by gender discrimination, according to my guest today, Dr Saher Mehdi, a longevity scientist from New Delhi in India. Saher, thank you so much for your time. Just take us through why women do tend to live longer. And also there is new research that has revealed a second X chromosome that may awaken with age in older women's brains, which also could help slow cognitive decline and might be a reason for why they do indeed live longer.
Aging is not a leveler as we would think. Actually, women do live longer than men. And I think it's an evolutionary strategy. Women are built to last because they are caretakers, they are nurturers, and they're also the backbones of community. And at cellular level, think of men as sports cars who are built for high energy, high power performance, whereas women are like hybrid engines that are built for more energy efficient resilience and are designed for endurance. At the cellular level, women have far more efficient powerhouses of the cell, which are also known as mitochondria. We also have very good repair mechanisms. Our telomeres, which are the ends of our chromosomes, are longer than men. The extra chromosome in women gets activated much later in their life during their menopause, which helps them in neural repair. As compared to men in their 50s, they start to lose their Y chromosome. And this has been a fundamental change and shift in the understanding of biology of aging among men and women.
But when it comes to women living longer, Saher, it does come at a cost, doesn't it? I mean, because women are generally more physically frail than men in old age. They're also more vulnerable, particularly after menopause, to developing cardiovascular disease and Alzheimer's, not to mention, of course, osteoporosis.
Absolutely. And the data suggests while we live longer, those 10 to 20 years that we live longer are spent in poor health, disability, and caring for others, and often in loneliness as well. And this is very much driven by the fact that women suffer from diseases, are more prone to diseases like osteoarthritis, autoimmune diseases, and also depression because of the loneliness. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that while they are, they have this good biology, they are living in the systems and societies that are not built to support women's body. I think that is what we see, that while women live longer, they have to pay the cost of it. So the quality isn't great.
With all these tech bros obsessing about living longer and doing whatever they can, such as Brian Johnson taking blood plasma from his teenage son and downing 100 pills every day, they do seem to forget about the lottery of genetics, and also that being a man immediately means that they are at a disadvantage.
Absolutely. While I kind of have to say I'm intrigued by what Brian Johnson is doing, it's an experiment of N of 1. We have to remember what he's doing for his body. The bio-optimization experiments can work beautifully, and he may live up to 200 years. But we have to remember that not everybody wants to live that longer or have that sort of money or have no social life. So we are a very social being, and longevity is not a solo engineering project. We have to understand while what he's doing can give scientists good hypothesis for working at a larger scale, longevity is simple. We need to provide people with simpler solutions that they can follow, that are affordable and accessible and are purpose-driven as well. Not experiments that are designed for millionaires and designed for an antisocial sort of life.
And what can we do as women?
As women, we definitely need to take more care of ourselves. So before caring for others, just like, in the flight, they say, please cover your mouth before helping others. You need to take care of yourselves before you start being carer and nurturers. And especially when you are hitting that double digit 40s and 50s, the dreaded menopausal stage, because that's the time when you hit the decline and you need to take care of both your mental and physical health.
Saher, it's been great speaking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annette.
Now, as England prepares to host the Women's Rugby World Cup in late August, interest in the game is on the rise, especially among young women in the UK and also here in France. Southwestern France is traditionally rugby country, and one club there now says almost a quarter of its members are women, despite a few misgivings from the community in the past. Olivia Salazar-Winspear tells us more.
Players from the small club of Gradignan get together for rugby practice twice a week. There's a bit of rough and tumble, but it's all part of the game.
I got tackled and a bit of a scrape.
But you're still smiling.
Yes, always, always.
Some members started playing rugby at just 7 years old here. After a few years off the pitch, this new mum's discovering that the club's now got a lot more women.
I started up again because I saw the World Cup and I thought, come on, I've had 2 children and I wanted to get back into it. And I can see that women's rugby is taking off.
Of 500 members, the club now counts 120 women. 10 years ago, there weren't even enough female players to make up the senior team.
The first year we were 4 women. The second year we managed to get to 7, so that's a real victory. I've got lots of girlfriends who came along because we were friends from school, because I talked about it and they saw how happy it made me.
The club's even recruited a coach for the women to raise their level of play.
Technically, they're not as strong as the boys who started rugby at a younger age, but in terms of their state of mind, in my opinion, they're stronger than most of the boys.
The Gradignan girls are currently top of their league, having built up a formidable reputation thanks to their determination and fair play spirit, whatever the weather.
And finally, a movie about factory worker Lily Ledbetter's remarkable fight, which led to equal pay for American women, opens this weekend in the US. Ledbetter worked at Alabama's Goodyear plant for more than 20 years, only to discover that she earned half of what the men were actually being paid. Her struggle leading to the Fair Pay Act becoming law in 2009 under President Barack Obama. We're going to leave you with images of the film, so until our next show, bye for now.
The partners and I would like to take this to the Supreme Court.
That company took advantage of me, like so many companies are taking advantage of their workers.
If she wins, women all over the country are going to use this as an excuse to sue.
I'm so damn proud of you, babe.
Miss Ledbetter was consigned to a career as a second-class employee only because she is a woman. That cannot be the law, and it isn't.